You know, over the last few months since Baldur's Gate 3 released, I've had just a few comments, but a lot of Discord messages, a lot of, people on Twitter and even Instagram asking me why I haven't spoken about Baldur's Gate 3 on my channel pretty much ever, besides that one tiny little Starfield Baldur's Gate meme that I made a while back. And honestly, the reason why is because, full disclosure, I was never excited for Baldur's Gate. The trailers never really excited me, I had never played the originals, but the main reason why is because I'm not a fan of turn-based. But, of course, everybody is going on about it, you all know how much I love RPGs, so I just thought, you know what, I need to suck it up and, play this game and see what all the hype is about, even though I might not like it. So I coughed up the money, and a few weeks ago I finally got around to playing Baldur's Gate 3. And yeah, without a doubt, it's my game of the year. I get it now. I did get this on my PS5 because it was cheaper than Steam, but I'm just mad at myself for not playing this sooner, because I haven't been taken back by a game like this in literally years, years and years. I think probably since 2015. While I do have some complaints, very minor complaints, Baldur's Gate 3 does almost everything right. The story, the RPG mechanics especially, the choices, consequence, companions, the writing, everything is perfect here, and honestly, this is my first Game of the Year winner that I've ever agreed with. I think that I've ever agreed with. I might have agreed with one or two, but you get the point. At this point, I've put in around 150 hours into Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm only just reaching Act 3. So, as for the final part of the game, I can't really comment on that, but I imagine it's no different when it comes to the quality and just sheer amazingness of this fantastic game. Of course, when I said I had complaints, again, it is very minor stuff, and it's all very much a me issue. This is my first introduction to the world of Baldur's Gate, and I will say I don't think that they did an exactly perfect job of explaining some things. It honestly took me about 50 hours to start understanding and getting used to the combat, but again, I'm usually not a fan of turn-based games, so that probably didn't help. I also didn't really start understanding what was going on story-wise until I remade my character and redid everything, but again, that was my own fault. I just missed some very important stuff. As somebody who went into this game knowing almost nothing about it or the world around it, it was very overwhelming at first, but in a way that wasn't a bad thing. In my opinion, this is how every good RPG should feel. I should be worrying that I'm missing something. That's what's so great about RPGs. For example, when Astron tried to bite my neck when I was long resting, I immediately was like, fuck this dude, and kicked him out of my party. So I really didn't know anything else about him besides what he had told me in Act 1. Now I am wrapping up Act 1 on my second character, who's more of an evil, self-involved type of character, and I've been using that companion, so you see my point. This is exactly what I want from an RPG. All of these choices and consequences. I'll be scrolling around online and see somebody playing Baldur's Gate or talking about it and see them do something that I had no idea was even an option. And I've got to say, if you're going into this game for the first time, I heavily recommend just letting the game play out. Just do the choices that you think are best in that moment and get ready to do that second playthrough at some point. And honestly, this is the type of game I can really just see people playing for decades, much like that of Skyrim, and a lot of that does come down to the sheer amount of choices within the game. But again, it's not just that. On top of all of this stuff, the way Larian Studios, the devs behind this game, have been treating Baldur's Gate 3, that's another reason that people could honestly still be playing this game 10 years from today. The amount of free updates, changes, improvements that the studio is doing is just amazing, and this is exactly what every single game dev needs to do. I'll outright say it, Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian Studios have now set the stone. With future games that we're all hyped for, like GTA 6 or Elder Scrolls 6, just to use those two as examples, they have to live up to this now. I think every RPG, or every modern RPG, which is what I like to call games that aren't really RPGs but can still be considered RPGs, like, say, Red Dead Redemption or Grand Theft Auto, all of them have to now sit back and take a long hard look at Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian Studios and realise, okay, this is what consumers want. The constant updates, the communication. Every time there's a problem in this game, Larian will speak about it and fix it soon after. Every time there's a complaint, they're open about it. And this is what I need from other devs. Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. Larian Studios really have set the bar here. The race recognition, the skill-based choices, the race-based choices. I couldn't wrap my head around it when I was first playing this game. I was just so taken back by it all, and again, every RPG dev needs to look at this. You all know that I'm a big Bethesda fanboy. That's Elder Scrolls and Fallout, for those of you who don't know and might be new to my channel. They are my favourite company. Starfield is my second game of the year behind Baldur's Gate 3, but I truly hope that even Bethesda look at this game and take massive amounts of inspiration when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6 in particular. Even things like the graphics here are stunning. I loved every single cutscene because I was just loving how amazing this game looks. And yeah, of course it isn't like above par graphically, it isn't amazing, but it has solid graphics on top of all of these other amazing things that the game manages to do. And too often I find that we see games sort of sacrifice graphics in favour of gameplay, or sacrifice gameplay sometimes even in favour of graphics, and you just don't feel that here. Both sides of the table are beautiful. Honestly, when writing the script for this video, I was finding it very difficult to find a nice flow of explaining everything great about this game, and really just sort of putting into words how excellent this game is, which I'm sure that you can all tell, so just let me take a minute to apologise for it. But honestly, that just, more than anything, just proves that everything that I've been saying in this video. Now, one of the things that I love the most about Baldur's Gate 3 is how companions work. You all know I absolutely love companions in games. If I'm allowed a companion, I'm almost always using one. If you're on the Discord, you know that Shadowheart currently has my heart, and it's not just Shadowheart, it's honestly everyone. Easily being able to switch out of companions' clothing and gear, customize what they're wearing, play as your companion, hell, even change their goddamn class. This is easily the best companion system I have ever seen in a video game. When I first started playing, I was mostly using Will, Gale and Shadowheart the most, and after a while I started getting a little irritated with that party, because I was like, basically all of these characters are the characters I want with me, but I don't need 3 spellcasters in my party, you know? I at least need a ranger, someone who's good at stealth, etc, etc. And then of course I find out, like hours and hours later, that you can just completely redo a companion's class. You have no idea how happy I was. I made Shadowheart a stealth ranger, and then I was back to having an absolute blast in the game. And let me just say one thing, because it's been brought up a lot on my Discord. When I made a Baldur's Gate 3 channel on our Discord server, because I just needed a place to talk about how fantastic this game was, I saw and obviously talked to a few of you who were saying that you kind of want to get the game but kind of don't, because obviously games are very expensive nowadays and they aren't a fan of the turn-based combat. And look guys, all I can say is I'm not a fan of turn-based either. In fact, I absolutely hate it most of the time. The only somewhat turn-based game I've ever been able to really enjoy is Fallout 1. But it doesn't bother me here. The combat, once you get used to it at least, is ridiculously fun. This is without a doubt my game of the year, and I think I've said all that I needed to say, so if you did enjoy the video, please do leave it a like. And of course, if you do want to stay up to date on RPG content, this is absolutely the place for you, so please do consider subscribing. I would love to have you join us. Lastly, as always, a huge, massive thank you to our channel members, but with all of that said and done, and thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.